What's good, man? It is February this month, so it's a new month. We have just passed our second funded account last week. We're about to activate that in the next couple days. I'm not really in a rush. This video, I'm going to kind of go over the market today because there's some pretty crazy stuff, and then I'm going to go over my plan on kind of scaling and how I want to receive different payouts going forwards. Because I got like a good little model in my head that I want to follow to get these payouts, man, and just kind of work on leveling up and actually starting to earn money from trading. But today was a little bit of a small one. We made 40 bucks. We traded one micro and we took one trade. After this rip up, I looked at the time, it's 10:50 right now, and I was like, I'm done for the day. I don't really need to get back in after a 200 or 337 point rip after tariffs and stuff got announced. So for me personally, I don't really care to get involved in this, especially after taking a small winner. But yeah, a pretty good trade today. I was looking to inverse this fair value gap. If I would have inversed this fair value gap, it would have been a monster trade. Would have had a pretty big stop loss, but it would have garnered 115 points, so that would have been pretty clean. Maybe go like break even at this high. But when you see a random 81 point candle, it doesn't really make you excited to jump into the trade because it means you're gonna have a pretty big stop loss. But at the same time, I mean, when you get that type of momentum, it very rarely just reverses. So it probably wasn't that dangerous of a trade, but I just didn't have the conviction to take it, and I didn't get in there. My trade that I ended up taking was a short, and I'll kind of go over the confluences for it, but I'll show you guys the entry point on the execution. We got in right at the close of this candle, and we got out of this low, right? Very quick scalp, 20 points. And yeah, I'll go over kind of what I saw to get that trade. Not my favorite ever trade, but it wasn't one that really broke my rules. Obviously a good sizing. I was risking like 50 bucks, so we made it a little bit less than 1-to-1. But yeah, I mean, I'll kind of go over the trade. The reason for it, this was London low I was targeting. Some clear confluences to trade to it. So first, let's just kind of go over the bias, right? Coming into the day before, again, this spike up, coming into the market, we have market open here at 9:30. We had London high right here, and we have London low as two nice targets to go after right here. And yeah, if we look at the overnight, right, London high, London low. I mean, I guess technically this is London low, which would have actually gotten hit, but Asia low. And I'm sure you guys noticed the massive, absolutely massive overnight new week opening gap. It was 374 points. Just insane. So when that normally happens, we are typically more bearish going into the day, and we have these relative equal lows right here on the higher time frame that I'm looking to see kind of get filled or taken. But we have a massive gap, just really big new week gap because of the tariffs that got reversed. So coming into the day, I was definitely mixed bias. I didn't know if I really wanted to see the gap get filled or if I was go lower, so I was just waiting for some confluences off open. The confluences I wanted to see, now if we pull up both charts side by side, I wanted to see us take out London high on both, and then London low. Got taken on both, right? So we had these equal highs. So market open, I was a little bit more bullish bias to see us go higher. We had a SMT here off open, right here. See, NQ did not take the low that ES did right here. So we have the SMT here, and then that kind of holds price to deliver to the high. We inverse this fair value gap right here, right off open, right at 9 or right before open. We come down, we hold this fair value gap, we sweep out the low on the lower time frame. I wonder if we had an SMT there. 9:30 and 9:27. So we actually have a small SMT right here. We close above this fair value gap right here. We have an order block that ends up holding right here. We trade into the order block. We trade higher. We create another order block that ends up getting respected again. Kind of slow, kind of choppy, but this model was pretty nice to the high. I didn't really have a setup towards it, but we end up gearing towards the high. And at this point, I wanted to see an inversion to the downside on this gap right here because of taking out London high. And then if we got displacement through it, we end up not closing below in the 1 minute. If we go to the 30-second, it looks even cleaner right here because we trade back to this 30-second fair value gap, and then we had the 30-second gap right underneath it right here to inverse. But if you notice, we just don't inverse this candle. We have a 3 points that we don't, and then we close 20 points lower. So I just didn't get in at that point. Even though it would have worked out pretty well, it would have gotten down to these lows here. Would have traded back above to the entry. If you would have held your stop, you'd be fine, and then you would hit TP. But if I were to have gotten in, I'm not really sure how I'd manage this. But just a little bit unfortunate, I would say, that it didn't provide itself as a solid entry on the 1 minute here, right here, because this ends up being really nice. I think we even had... we didn't have any small time frame SMT, but this was really nice, and this was the start of the sell model to, we had this accumulation, we had a manipulation leg above London high, and we started displacing lower. We then get this change in state delivery right here because of these up close candles right here. These up close candles that run the high out end up getting closed below right here, so this is change in state delivery, ends up holding pretty nice. Also, this fair value gap ends up holding. And we actually end up getting a nice what you would call like an SMT fair value gap right here. So this fair value gap right here is also a 5 minute gap, but we do not trade into it here. We trade into it on NQ, but we do not trade into it on ES, so that shows a bearish SMT. Inside this gap after changing state delivery, holding that, rejecting lower. This wick is very bearish, right? A 25-point wick. And then I knew we had news at 10, so that's why I waited for my trade. And then we had this tiny gap right here. And my entry actually ended up being off of the 30 seconds, so we didn't close it here on the news candle. If we go back to the 30-second chart here, whenever we got this inversion right here, which happened on this candle, I ended up getting in because we also had this order block confirm right here. So I got in my trade right here. Stop was right there. It was really, really tight stop, and we were targeting this. So literally like a 1-to-1. Really, really zoomed in trade, but I think it was good. I had a good understanding of price. We had an SMT here inside the 5 minute, and I'll show you guys the 5 minute SMT. 5 minute SMT fair value gap right here. Just so we see on the 5 minute chart, I'm going to get rid of the drawings here. If we look at it on the 5 minute chart right here, notice here, it's kind of hard to spot if you're not looking for it, but right here, this candle here, and this candle, notice how this second candle gets into the fair value gap, and on ES, we do not reach back into that fair value gap. So that's what I was seeing live time after. We also changed the state delivery on the 5 minute. If you notice, look at the bodies really holding that well. We changed the state here. These up close candles on the 5 minute that run above the high end up getting closed below right here. We trade into it once, twice, and then a third time, and then we sell off lower, and even a fourth time we sell off lower again. So that was the confluences there for the short, and that was the short entry. It's really quick. I'll show you guys the execution. I'll show you guys how we did it. But yeah, it was just a really quick trade. Let's see. We got in pretty close after the close. I waited a half a second, which also gave me a little bit worse entry. I was kind of measuring the stop loss just in case, because the volatility was a little bit up today. So I did get a little bit worse of an entry than I should have, but it was cool. We wanted to maybe see if it could just slide lower. That's why I didn't leave my take profit there. But I wanted to see it hit this low and go break even because I wanted to see it flush through quick. That's a little bit quick in my opinion. I probably should have just left the stop and let the trade play out. But it ends up working out for us regardless. That's definitely something I could fine tune. But I wanted to see if we could get a real nice run lower instead of having my take profit. So I wanted to take profit at this point, but I wanted to give it a chance to get back down there. And at this point, I ended up just taking it around where it was because it never really got the flush I was looking for. So it kind of shoots back above, and I just closed the trade out. So pretty much got what I wanted. But again, you never know if you're going to get that one move that, happens where you get a candle like this to come in and you just run 20 more points, and that's, a lot more profit, right? Maybe another candle comes in and rips down to here, and I can, secure 50 points instead of 20. So that was the trade idea. That was the trade. Very nice model. This is a really nice sell side delivery. A little bit different than my normal inversion setup, but we had a lot of confluences here. We had this fair value gap holding here on the 30 seconds as well after the inversion happened. And I guess we actually inversed here on the 30 second, but it was a little bit on NQ. Let's see if the NQ chart did. So we actually did inverse a little bit earlier, so I could have gotten earlier, but it was right at news, and it was just a little bit volatile for my liking. But we hold the fair value gap, we make an order block, and we close it below. Nice area to have a stop, and we end up trading to the low, right? It's like a scalp trade, definitely not a home run. And that's something I recognize too. I had wished I had gotten to this trade earlier, but I didn't, and I wasn't able to find the entry, and I was definitely kind of frustrated that I couldn't get that because that could have been a $200 day if I were to have gotten a nice close, say, like around here. If we would have gotten a nice close around here and trade to this low, we would have got 100 points. So even on one micro, it would have been a $200 day. If I would have traded with 2 micros, which, again, we'll talk about my scaling plan that I want to do soon, we would have had a $200 day. So that would have been nice to get one of the ones. But I recognize after this trade, I was still willing to take another trade. I really wanted to see this 1 minute inverse to the upside after trading into this 4-hour gap right here. I wanted to see us then continue higher after sweeping out the lows, the 9 a.m. candle. So the 10 a.m. candle opened lower. So I was expecting bullish. I just obviously wasn't expecting this. So when this move comes in so aggressive and so quick, I can't really do much about it. And then at this point on a Monday, when it's close to 11, I don't really care to try and get too involved with this because it starts getting just a little bit hectic, in my opinion. When you have like a big run up, we ran up 350 points. So it's pretty significant. And I had a small winner, so I didn't really want to give that back either, even though it's not that much. But I just, want to end a nice start to the week and kind of, be used to this. People are saying that throughout the entire presidency, the new presidency, we're going to be able to experience these types of random moves, which I'm not really too stoked about. It doesn't really seem too fun, but at least volatility is there. And price action wasn't bad. This was a really nice delivery right here. This area and price right here was really clean in my opinion, and you can make a lot of money right in this section right here, and it's just nice to study. I think a lot of interesting things. Price delivered pretty clean for the most part, and yeah, that was kind of the breakdown there of the trade. Now for my plan for scaling, which I think I've done a lot of thinking of over this weekend, and I am I think I've come to an idea of how I want to manage my positions or my accounts. And really the main thing I want to do is hold up. So the main thing I want to do is I want to start just winning or not worrying about winning days, right? Which is something I always talk about. I don't really want to force myself into winning days, but I have passed the second account, right? So I don't really want to keep paying for accounts, combines. This month I spent $500 on combines, or not combines, $500 on the Express account and combines. I ended up paying the rebill fee on the first one I passed twice, and then I paid for the activation fee twice. I'm going to pay the activation fee. I guess I haven't done it yet. And then I had one combine I blew last month in January. And obviously the activation fee or the $50 fee for the second combine pass. So it adds up pretty quick. So I don't really care to start another combine right now. I want to work towards a payout before buying another combine. And hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we get a payout before having to start another combine rather than blowing the accounts. And my goal is to just, take it slow, right? I want to trade 2 micros now that have the second account. That for the only reason that it's more possible to get a $200 day. But I'm not going to take trades and obsess about the $200 day. I'm not going to, I'm not going to hold my trade longer than I need to just to try and make the $200. I'm not going to, do different things just because of the $200, but I do want to size to where it is possible because at the end of the day, I'm trying to work towards a payout, and 2 micros is still plenty small enough to really trade well. It also gives you potential to partial. And I think that's a nice step going forward to trade 2 micros. And I'm just going to have to start getting to a point where I can execute well. I don't get finicky in trades. I don't really, go to break even early. I don't take bad setups. And I want to do all the right things right in my trading. But I want to get to a point where I'm working towards that payout slowly but surely. And I want to get 5 $200 days on this first account. And then I'll start trading on the second prop account, on the second Express account. And I'm going to try and get the 5 $200 days on there. Once I do that, I will then allow myself to copy trade 1 or 2 micros across both of them because they'll be eligible for a payout. And then I'll try and make a certain amount. I think my goal is to get to 3,000 on each account and then withdraw 1K from each. So that would be, a nice $2,000 withdrawal that will allow me to pay off all the money I've spent on these combines in my entire life and on the Express accounts, because I think I'm around $1,500, maybe $1,600 spent on these combines and Express accounts. So that'd be nice because I'll have made back all the money I've spent, but also I'll have 2 funded accounts still that have a $2,000 buffer, which is just the normal. And I will have, some profit that I can reinvest and buy another combine, and then try and pass another combine with that low profit, and then really just rinse and repeat. And right now I'm basically in a stage where I'm just trying to conserve capital. I'm not worried about trying to make 10K a month. I'm not really worried about trying to get a payout every week or every other week. I'm just more worried about executing better and starting to scale my capital and capital preservation. Because even if I blow this account, I want it to last me at least a month, right? I want this Express account to last at least a month, right? I don't want to have any of the days where I just lose 1,000, lose my head, lose the account. Because when I'm looking through past, funded accounts, I don't lose, even trading a little bit more than 2 micros. I don't typically lose my account because of, just losing every day. It's more so I'll win, take one loss, take a bigger loss that same day, and then either stop that day and come back the next day and blow the account, or I continue trading until max drawdown. So if I can avoid those max drawdown, those max pain days, and I can just stick to 1 to 2 trades a day where I'm like, I stick to my stop loss, I stick to my plan. If I can stick to my plan, there's no reason I won't get payouts. And if I can stick to my plan, there's no reason that I'll blow my account in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that's kind of my game plan, is to preserve capital. I'm not worried about 10K months. I'm not worried about any of that yet. I'm worried about scaling to a point where I can get small payouts, fund more accounts, and then start getting more aggressive. So if we're being realistic, it's going to be a process. It's going to take a good few weeks, right? And maybe a few months. It'll probably take me 3 months to make, what I need. If I average $1,000 a month on the Express account, right, that would take 3 months to get to 3K. And $1,000 a month is more than possible, absolutely more than possible. If we look at the stats here, last month I was trading 1 micro and I traded half the month, right? We had a few break-even days, 1 small loss, right? But we made 180 here, right? That's about 1/5 of what we want for the month. But we didn't trade for a whole week here. We only trade 1 of the days here. We didn't trade for a few of the days here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? We had some good opportunities to trade. If we look at this month and we look at how many trading days there are, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 20. We have 20 days. Let's just say we trade on 15. If we want to make, let's just say we trade on 15. Q later, right? If we have $1,000 as our goal and we divide that by the 15 days we might trade, we need to make, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. If we want to make $1,000 and we divide by, let's just say 10 days, right? Obviously it's $100. We just have to make around $100 a day. And that's if we only trade 10 days. So really the goal isn't that impossible to make 1,000 a month. Obviously we want to make more than that. If we're trading 2 micros, if we break that down on size, calculator, if we're breaking that down across size, right? If we're trading for $1,000 on 1 micro, that's obviously $2 a point. We need a net 500 points in the month. And if we're looking at it from 2 micro standpoint, we're dividing that by $4. We just need 250 points for the month, and that's a pretty good month in my opinion. That being said, if we have the 5 $200 days, that will be $1,000. So we just need to focus on trying to net 250 points in the month, which when you really think about that and you break it down that way, and again, you have losing days, so it's not really good to look at things as an average, like, oh, I need this much a day, because then it's like, okay, I need $100 a day. I don't want to just go in and try and force trades to get get 60 more bucks to have $100 just to satisfy that. But I can look at this and say 250, if we had 15 trading days or 10 trading days, we just need about 25 points a day, right? Across 10. We think that there's 20 days. I think there might be a holiday. I won't probably be able to trade all of these realistically. Things aren't going to work out perfectly. But that's the beautiful thing about trading is that I don't have to make $1,000 this month. I don't have to, right? I just don't have to make $1,000 this month, right? If I make 600 and then the first week of this week I make 1,000, right? That works too. It's all just about being consistent. But I like having these figures in my head that, okay, I just need about 25 points on a day that I take a nice winner. So 50 is just, overkill. So if I can have 10 days, I need to net 25 points. I need to net 250 points over the month, right? So if we average, right, if we just do the right things, it will come over time. You don't have to overthink this stuff. You don't have to overanalyze a trading plan. Just have a plan. Just follow your strategy. Follow a strategy works. Don't over leverage. Don't get out of good trades early. Just follow your plan. Don't lose too much in a day. I have my daily loss limit at $200. I'm not gonna move it more than $200, but I also want to move it lower. My goal is to never touch this. I will never change this. So if we lose 200, it's just a hard stop. It's just a reset for the day. My goal is to just never change this one time ever. Until I'm obviously starting to risk more. But this shouldn't be hard to not do this, right? That's something I can control. Again, I want to be able to control the things I have control over, which is how much am I willing to lose. So that means that I have $200 if I'm trading 2 micros. I'm dividing that by 4. That means I have about 50 points to lose in the day. So if I have one setup that's 50 point stop loss, I can take it. But if I lose, I have to be done for the day, right? I'm not going to let myself lose twice. But realistically, if it's a 50 point stop loss, I could just take that with 1 micro and give myself another chance. But it really just depends on my plan for that day, what I see. But again, this stuff doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about all these different things that don't really matter. You just have to worry about the things you can control. And what can we control? We can control the steps we take. We control how much we risk. We can control what we do after we lose. We can control our plan. All these different things we just have to be aware of, and we have to just follow, right? And that's my goal, is to just really, really lock in this month and next month and just forever, right? This is trading at this point. I can make money now. We don't have an account that rebuilds. We don't have a profit target, right? These prop firms design these things for you to worry about $200 days. They want you to worry about the buffer. They want you to try and worry about getting to whatever goal you set. For me, I set $3,000 because, I think that if I get to $3,000, a $1,000 withdrawal would be more than comfortable. At that point, I might even withdraw $1,500. But it really just depends on how I feel, how I've been trading, how easy that was. But that's kind of the thing that they want you to do, is they want you to have these mental goals of, I want $3,000 in the account. So I need to realize that it doesn't matter how long it takes. Yes, I want it to happen in a month because that means I'm making good money. That means if I could do that on one account, if I did that across 5 accounts, that's 15K. But the reality is, I'll get there over time. I need to just develop the skill, keep doing the right things, because I don't need to focus on getting to 3K this month or next month, the next. If that happens in 4 months, it's still great, right? That's still great. Even though, yeah, it would take you 4 months to get $1,000 payout or $1,500 payout, and obviously that's not very good. But in terms of the process, that's all that matters, because all you need is just lock in and do that, right? If you made $3,000 across 5 accounts, if you did that twice in a year, if you do that across 5 accounts twice in a year, that's 30 grand you've made. Yes, you can't withdraw that, but you just made 30 grand. And if you have if you have $3,200 days within that time, that's 30 grand that you made that year. You know, basically my goal is over a year. If you can earn $10,000 on one account across 5, that's 50K. If we pull up a calculator again, right, and you earn $10,000 across the account, 10K, and you divide that by 4, that means you net 2,500 points. That means per month you net 208 points, right? If you can average, you make on the NQ 200 points a month, you'll make 10K across the year. Across the year, you'll have earned $50,000. And that's a good start to first year of profitability. And you can scale so much more. You can do so much more. You can trade, 5 micros. You can trade a mini contract. Like, you can scale more in time. I'm trying to not worry about the scaling, not worry about the slowness. I'm just trying to worry about the skill and just doing better, just taking more quality setups more often, taking less bad quality setups. And it's just going to be an overwhelming or slow process. It's going to be a slow grind to that point. I want to be there overnight. I want to be there tomorrow. I want to be able to do that right now. I want to be able to withdraw money right now. But I'm going to have to just put that ego and that desire and that want to the side and just focus on the right things. I want to take, I wish today I got an amazing setup so that, it would have felt nicer today to take this trade right here. And even though, again, I didn't really feel comfortable taking this, but it would have felt a whole lot nicer to take this up today and catch, catch 115 points and sit here and feel like I'm getting closer. It would feel way more amazing because it's like, okay, cool. I just caught 115 points today. Like, I'm a beast, right? But at the end of the day, that doesn't really do much for you because all it is just that another good setup, right? Trading isn't about always having a winner because you're not going to win every day. So having that attachment to each day is what's been holding me back, because I like to come into each day and I like to think that if I win, I got better and I'm getting better. And if I lose, it feels like I don't know anything and it doesn't work anymore. And it's really the opposite. Trading is actually the opposite because it doesn't really have anything to do with if you win or lose, right? You could take a great setup and lose, and it feels like for that day you got worse in a sense or you didn't really improve. But if you can just flip that mindset, because I have that mindset where it's like, okay, I lost today. I didn't get closer to where I want to be. But in reality, if I did the right things, I followed my plan, I took a good setup, and I learned from it, I actually did get better, right? And that's kind of the hard part, is recognizing that you are getting better in certain spots, even when it feels like, maybe you wasted a day or maybe you didn't get better. And again, I want to just rush through the process. I wish I could wake up tomorrow at market open and, watch the charts and get that new experience and get that great setup or spot a great setup or spot a bad setup and not take it. And then I want to go to Wednesday and I want to go to market open and I want to go Thursday and Friday and I want to keep doing it every single day. And that's the hard part with trading, is it's unlike any other business where, if you're trying to open a brick and mortar business or you're trying to open an online business or whatever you're trying to do, you can just go and go and go and go and go and work and work and work. And you can just work forever, and you're just getting better constantly. You have control over it, right? Even for sports, you can go back to the field, you can get extra reps in, you can do this, that, the other, you can do, some stretching, some preparing, some eating. You can just constantly be improving yourself. Whereas in trading, there's not really this constant state of improvement you can really do. There's only a finite window every day that you can watch live price in your session that you trade. And being able to just be confident with that and comfortable and really just submit to time is the hardest thing. I think that's the last step for me, is just submit to time, do the right thing every day because it's the right thing, and don't give too much weight on each individual day. Let each day just be its own thing. Let each day, come and go, and just did I follow my plan, yes or no? And if you follow your plan enough, it will work out. And I just have to trust that. I have to believe that, and I have to do it. And we'll see great results. And I'm excited for that. I really am. But it's hard to do. It's that's the hardest part. That's the tricky part now. Is just being able to submit to the process and say, hey, this is this might take me a while, or this day isn't the end of the world. You lose one day, as long as you followed your setup, it's fine, right? And then just keep getting better, keep finding better setups over time. You'll see the market better, you'll know which setups are better, and you'll just get to where you want to be over time. It doesn't have to be a home run every day. That's why when you're chasing the $200 day every day, that's where you just start cooking yourself. It doesn't need to be a home run every day. It just needs to be your best every single day, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I think that's where we'll see the most improvement. I've been seeing a lot of improvement in my trading recently, and I want to continue that. My videos are going to reflect that, man. I wish I could be making a video that says making 10K today, but the reality is that's a while off. It's coming in the future, I promise. But I have to humble myself and realize I can't make a video where I say making 1,000 today, making 2,000, making 10,000, right, $100,000 a month. I will be there. I will be there soon enough. I have the tools. I have to believe I have the tools, but I have to, use the tools correctly, right? If you bring an axe to a garden and you try and, and you're just hitting things, you might have a right tool for cutting down trees, but you don't have the right tool for the garden. So use your tools the right way, and you will see rewards, right? You have to just use them the right way. It's kind of like a bull in China shop reference, like that bull, there's nothing wrong with the bull. Or like if you judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree or whatever, right? They're just going to think it's stupid. So don't use wrong techniques. Don't use the wrong stuff. Just do the right thing. And you'll see what you're trying to see, and it'll come so much quicker. I think I'm just finally at a point where I can just be comfortable doing that, because I know, that's the only way. That's the only way I'm going to be able to get the payouts, right? Even if I came in and I went in with a full contract today and I made a few $100, and I did that a few times and I got a payout, who cares, right? That's quick money. I'm not after the quick money. If I was after the quick money, I wouldn't be trading, and I have to just remind myself, okay, I'm not after quick money. So what would someone that's not after quick money do? And that's follow their plan, right? And it has to be every single day you follow your plan every single day without fail. It can't be, we messed up. No, it's every single day you follow your plan, and eventually you're just doing, right? You're not thinking anymore, you're just doing, and that's where I want to be. But it's hard to believe myself, right? Because I don't have a payout yet. I don't have this, that, the other. I don't have times of drawdown where I get out just doing the right thing. I've never overcome a long period of drawdown without just blowing an account or gambling, right? So I need to build these pillars of just trust with myself, because that's how you succeed. You build this reinforcement of, if this happens, this is how I get out. If this happens, this is how I get out here. And just building confidence in yourself, saying that you can get yourself out of these bad situations is the key, right? And I don't have that yet because I've never allowed myself to go through that. You have to allow yourself to embrace the hard part. So that's enough for me. Just wanted to talk about that. I did a lot of thinking about that stuff on the weekend. Decent start to the week, man. Cannot complain. Small green day. Read the chart. Got some more experience on the chart. Can't complain, man. Beautiful day. Can't wait to get to the gym today. Eat some food. I'm hungry. And great week coming up. Absolutely great week coming up. So I will see you guys in the next one. But yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.